Hey everyone, it's Ally and welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be going over Middle Eastern fragrances once again, but particularly we're going to be going over Byredo dupes. Now Byredo is a house that I really do like. They are on the niche side, but a lot of their fragrances are very not very niche smelling, some a little bit more than others, but I think they're very crowd pleasing fragrances, but more at a niche price. They are expensive. If you're looking to get a Byredo fragrance, you're looking close to the high $200 range. So today I have 4 fragrances that are going to be really good dupes for some Byredo fragrances. 2 of them you've already seen me talk about a little bit on this channel. The other 2 are newer-ish to my collection, but I haven't really talked about them. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the 2 that I've already talked about first. And the first one being from Maison Alhambra, and this one is called Saffron. If I could just get it to focus, there we go. This, if you cannot tell, is a clone of Black Saffron from Byredo. You've got notes of saffron, black currant, tonka. You've got rose, iris, leather, guaiac wood, and vanilla in the base. And you guys, this is a beautiful clone or, dupe of Black Saffron from Byredo. This one retails for about $23 for a 3.4 fluid ounce bottle versus Black Saffron, which retails for $290 for the same size bottle. I will say right off the bat, this is pretty spot on. I've had this one for I think 1 to 2 weeks or so, one and a half or so weeks. And you guys, this is getting better and better and better with all Middle Eastern fragrances. Like I've said before, once you get them, spray them a couple times, let them sit. Sometimes they need that maceration period because the scent will develop and change over time the longer it sits. I've noticed with a lot of Middle Eastern fragrances that this tends to be the case. Maison Alhambra, I've noticed that a lot. It's best to get them a little bit more ahead of time and let them sort of sit before you're wanting to use them. But already this is stunning. You definitely get that rose note in this, but it's very like almost raspberry, like it's really, really beautiful. It's because of that rose and tonka mixing in with that iris that gives it a sort of powdery-ish feel and almost makes it kind of candied, but it's not overtly sweet at all. This is almost like a sweet dry fragrance. There's a certain dryness to the sweetness to it that cuts it down because of that guaiac and leather combo in this and that saffron. The saffron is definitely in this, giving it a sort of vegetal, like medicinal type feel. When I spray this, there is something that smells sort of vegetal like. So kind of green and earthy and really, really pretty. It does fade away the longer that this sits on the skin and you get more of that leather, but the saffron mixing in with that leather and guaiac wood give a very vegetal type smell. And it's very faint and you have to be really close up to skin to smell it. But you guys, this is so beautiful. It's got a very sexy, grown, sophisticated vibe to it. It's rosy, but not overtly rosy in your face. It has this sweetness that's kind of on the dry side. It's very sophisticated and elegant. And if you have a hard time wearing a leather fragrance, this is a great one to try out because it's not at all abrasive. This is a very smooth, beautiful, intoxicating leather rose combo that just smells so classy and so elegant and so sophisticated. Honestly, I really love this one. I think it is a fabulous clone or dupe of Black Saffron. And if you want to save a pretty penny, then definitely look into Saffron by Maison Alhambra because this is a amazing, amazing one. And you're missing out if you're looking this one over because it's really, really good. And if you already own Black Saffron from Byredo, but you don't want to run through your bottle, this is a great alternative to have to sort of use in between using that one so you don't go through it so quickly. Definitely look into this one. And I mean, for 23 bucks, you really can't lose. Great alternative. The next one that I'm going to talk about, which is a big love for me, is Berlinetta from Maison Alhambra. It looks like this, very similar to the saffron bottle, except the little wording area has black instead of white. This one retails for about $20. That's what I got mine for. You've got notes of peach, plum, violet, peony, leather, vanilla, musk, and patchouli. And you guys, this smells so much like Bibliothèque from Byredo. If you are a fan of Bibliothèque, which is a fruity leather fragrance that is sophisticated, it almost smells like you're sitting in a library full of older dusty books that are leather bound, and there's a slight powderiness in the air because of the dust that has settled on these beautiful vintage books. And this is a really gorgeous fragrance. This gives me hardcore sexy librarian vibes. You know the girl from The Mummy? Uh Evie or whatever her name was from the original Mummy from 1999. If she had a scent, this is what she would smell like. Smelling in a luxurious vintage library in the middle of the Middle East, like in Egypt. That's what this kind of gives me. It's very nostalgic. There's something really beautiful. You get the juiciness from the peach and plum note in this, and it's so juicy and mouth-watering. It almost smells like dried fruits sitting in a library, like you're enjoying your book and having like dried fruits at the same time. There's this juicy deliciousness that's so crisp and refreshing, but also the slight powderiness that you get from the musk patchouli and that leather combo mixing in with the violet give almost a slightly lipsticky accord. It's not overtly lipsticky, but almost like if you took the scent of a library and turned it into a lipstick. That's almost what you get from this. It's soft, it's warm, there's a slight ambery feel to it without being an amber fragrance. This is just a vibe. Like if you just want to smell expensive and like you are Evie or whatever from The Mummy, then this is the perfect fragrance for you. Let me tell you, this smells sexy. It's the right amount of leather. It's not at all abrasive or in your face. This is smooth. It's fruity. It's really hard not to like this fragrance. I am beyond in love with this one, and this one retails for about $20. The 3.4 fluid ounce bottle of Bibliothèque will run you about $290. So quite a big price difference, and you're getting the same thing. My juice has gotten darker since I've gotten it. I've had this one for a minute. It's gotten a little darker. It's gotten deeper, more sensual. This is such an erotic smelling fragrance. I know that's weird being that I keep describing a library, but there's something really sexy. And if you remember the character, like I said, Evie from, or whatever her name was from The Mummy, she was quite sexy for a librarian. So like, yeah, this is giving me straight her vibes. If this was a girl, it would be her. This is sexy. I could easily see this being unisex. I can see a lot of guys wearing this, but my girls out there, get your nose on this one. Same with Saffron. Very much a unisex fragrance, but my girls out there, don't be scared of it because of the leather notes. Both of those have leather notes and they both smell phenomenal. Trust me on this one. The next one that I'm going to talk about is from Paris Corner, and this one is from their Amir line series, and this one is called Vibrant Orange Neroli. It is a gorgeous bottle. Let me just get that right out the way. I love this frosted glass sort of orange effect. Orange is my favorite color, so I may be a little bit biased, but you've got mandarin orange, lemon, neroli, jasmine, chambac, cotton candy, and white musk. And this is supposed to be a alternative to Sundazed by Byredo. I got this bottle for around $33 online, and Sundazed for a 3.4 fluid ounce bottle, same size as this one, is gonna set you back another $290. So it's quite a big difference. And you guys, this is literally the same fragrance. Like my nose I can barely even detect a difference from Sundazed to this orange Neroli. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. If you are a fan of Naroli, this is gorgeous. You get that burst of lemon and orange, but primarily that orange is what I get. It's juicy, it's fresh in the opening, and as it settles down, you start getting that really floral Neroli scent. Neroli is basically orange blossom. The only difference is that it's distilled differently to create a different scent than orange blossom. Orange blossom is a lot more sweet and girly, where Neroli is a bit more green and floral, in my opinion. It smells more like the actual flower than orange blossom does. Orange blossom is like a candied version of it, in my opinion. But this is gorgeous. You definitely get that slight clean feel from the jasmine in this, and you really get that cotton candy, especially in the initial blast of this fragrance. I get cotton candy and citrus. It's really sweet. It's really yummy. It's really unique. It's an interesting, clean, sort of floral citrus fragrance that's very invigorating. It's very bright. It's very juicy. It just puts you in a good mood. If you're having a hard day or like you have a case of the downs because the sun's not out, this is literally sunshine in a bottle. It's hard to wear this and not have like a smile on your face or to feel a little better. It's a great pick-me-up fragrance. It's gonna make you smell clean and citrusy and delicious with that added sweetness. My guys out there, just because it's sweet, don't let that deter you. This is sexy on a man, but it's gonna be beyond sexy on a lady, let me tell you what. And this is gonna be stunning in summertime. And with a lot of Middle Eastern fragrances, like I said, spray them and let them sort of macerate. That way they get stronger and better. So we're getting ready to go into summer. I highly suggest if you're looking into summer fragrances, get them now. Start adding them to your repertoire. You need them, get them, spray them, let them sit. This one is going to be amazing in summertime already. This lasts all day on me. I have no problems with longevity. The other last two, also, longevity on those is pretty damn long. This one, surprisingly, for something so fresh and citrusy, this lasts on me a long friggin' time. I got almost 8 hours wearing this fragrance, which blew my mind. I did about 4 sprays and I went about my day, and I even got a compliment while I was wearing this, which is weird because the person that complimented me doesn't always compliment me on my fragrances. So to get a compliment from this person was kind of a big thing, and this was the fragrance I was wearing. Really beautiful, very crisp, clean, put together, sophisticated. Do yourself a favor, and if you're looking into getting a clone or an alternative to Sundazed, this is it. Vibrant Orange Neroli from Paris Corner. Do yourself a favor. Get this one instead. $33, unless you want to pay that $290, then I'm not going to judge you. You go ahead and pay that $290. Now, the last one that I'm going to talk about is another one from Paris Corner. This is also from the Amir line, and this one is called Vibrant Vetiver Delight. This one I bought for around $36, and this is a Byredo dupe once again. And if you're wondering what it's duping, it is duping the iconic Bal d'Afrique by Byredo. Now, you have notes of Amalfi lemon. You've got blackcurrant, bergamot, African orange flower, violet, climate, jasmine, vetiver, amber, musk, and Virginian cedar. And you guys, this is so good. It smells so much like Bal d'Afrique by Byredo. If you are a fan of that fragrance, this is a straight dupe. I love the bottle, this sort of like green frosted glass. First off, freaking stunning. I love this. Slay, like, oh my god. I wish all the Byredo bottles came in this packaging. Like, this is amazing. The Byredo bottles are kind of boring. But this is not. Like, just something simple as like the frosted glass sort of freaking effect is so freaking cute. Like, oh, I'm obsessed, you guys. I'm obsessed. But this smells so much like the fragrance. Again, another one that is almost a perfect alternative. I will say the original is a little bit fruitier. I want to say just slightly a little bit more fruity. But aside from that, like, I really can't detect much of a difference. When I first got this, it was on the lighter side. And I remember when I first sprayed it, I smelled a bit of alcohol, which I wasn't a fan of. But in the time I've had this, that has dissipated. And it's getting stronger and stronger and stronger. Now, what this fragrance smells like to me is like this big burst of lemon, but almost like this powdery, candied, frosted effect behind it. It almost smells like you have a frosted jar, a cold frosted jar that has these powdery lemon candies in it. Oh my goodness. It's so, so good. The vetiver just adds a slightly woody sort of green base to the fragrance, but it's a beautiful, bright, citrus, powdery fragrance that's going to leave you smelling so good and so clean. And if you're not a fan of powdery fragrances, this is still one to try out and get your nose on, because this isn't your typical powdery fragrance. It's not baby powder in any way to me. This is almost like a powdered candy, like a frosted powdery candy that has this sort of cold crisp feel that's going to keep you feeling refreshed and so delightful in the summertime. This is going to perform amazing in high heat. This lasts about 6 hours on me right now, but I have a feeling that that's going to change the longer this sits in my collection. And by the time summer comes around, this is going to be a banger, because in high heat, I know this is going to perform so beautifully. Already such a stunning fragrance, and I'm really liking it. This retails, like I said, for $36, but if you want to pay Byredo prices, go ahead and pay your $290 for the same size bottle, 3.4 fluid ounce. And yeah, also I wanted to mention there is another alternative to Sundays by Byredo, and there is a fragrance by Dua Fragrances called Dazed. And I remember I had that one for a while. I ended up giving it away. Well, not giving away. I had to get rid of a lot of fragrances when I went through my divorce, and unfortunately that was one of them. But honestly, I wasn't too mad, because yes, Dua does have a alternative to Sundays, but it is an extrait, and I found that one a bit challenging to wear. Something about the concentration of the neroli and lemon in that one, being that it was an extrait de parfum, was really intense and really gave me this sort of like bloody feel, this irony, bloody sort of feel on my skin. And at first it didn't bother me, but like the more I wore the fragrance, the stronger it got and the more intense it was. And it just ended up turning my stomach to the point that I couldn't wear the fragrance. So I was a little worried when I got this one that I wasn't going to be able to wear it because of what had happened with that fragrance. But let me tell you, this does not do that on my skin. I don't get this irony sort of blood feel. I just get a beautiful neroli citrusy fragrance that is so good. So if you had the Dua one and you couldn't wear it for some reason because maybe you were experiencing the same thing as me, fret not. This is so much more wearable, and it performs really beautifully and reacts to my skin, at least, so well, opposed to the Dua fragrances. Although I do love me a good Dua fragrance, not gonna lie. But yeah, the Dazed one from them just wasn't it, sis. It just was not it. Now, yeah, that's all I have for you today on Byredo Middle Eastern clones. I hope you guys found this video informative. Definitely check out Paris Corner, you guys. I think right now Paris Corner and Maison Alhambra are my favorite like Middle Eastern brands. I'm definitely getting really into Lattafa, but like Paris Corner, man, especially the Amir line fragrances. Oh my God, you guys, like, oh my goodness. Check those out. Like, the Amir line, I don't know what kind of magic they're putting in those fragrances, but they smell damn good. Damn good. And yeah, same with like Maison Alhambra. Chef's kiss. That's all I have to say. But anyway, like I said, I hope you guys found it informative, and I will link the fragrances as always down below where you can find them. Follow me on Instagram at Goddess on Neptune. And yeah, I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye.